Fallout 76's Skyline Valley Expansion just released, and after 6 long years, the map has finally been expanded. So today we are going to dive into Skyline Drive and discuss everything you should know about the expansion, from the game's patch notes to the new in-game events. We've got all of the details about the new playable ghoul class, future updates, and a ton more. Real quick guys, I'm giving away a PS5 at 160k subscribers. To enter, it's super easy. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel, comment your Twitter handle, send me proof that you're subscribed, and I've got the full details in the pinned comment. Guys, we have a lot to talk about, so check the video chapters for easy viewing, and let's dive in. So first things first, let's go ahead and go over the new Skyline Valley update that just went live yesterday. And the update was massive. It was about 30 to 40 gigs depending on what platform you play on, and it added a ton of stuff. Now, according to the Bethesda blog, they said this, and I quote, "Welcome to Skyline Valley, our first map expansion of the Appalachia region. Explore this new mysterious location, uncover the true location of Vault 63, and figure out the truth behind the Lost. A mysterious location that is covered by a storm unlike any that have been seen before. There are new locations to discover, characters to meet, secrets to unveil, as well as more locations to build your camps. After finding the true location of Vault 63, you'll work with its leaders to unravel the mystery behind the storm and the Lost. Throughout this quest line, you'll discover the mystery behind the Lost, meet new characters, and make gut-wrenching choices about the fate of the residents of Vault 63. Now, following the release of the expansion, we have a new public event called Dangerous Pastimes. This wicked storm raging above Skyline Valley isn't going to keep these thrill seekers away. In the new public event, help a group of settlers / tourists capture the best pictures of the storm by protecting them from the nearby Lost and electrically charged creatures. They're joy stealers. Make sure they don't crash the party. And then we have neurological warfare. While exploring Skyline Valley, you may get the inclination to nuke the region. These actions are not necessarily encouraged, but they're not discouraged either. Guess you'll just have to find out what happens. Next up, we have the combat rebalance work. They said this, and I quote, "We are beginning a series of combat updates that are aimed to improve your experience. We're starting this process with today's updates by making some changes to creatures and weapons. Our goal is for these changes to have a positive effects on combat throughout the entire game. To help set expectations, we expect these changes to take effect in a variety of different places, weapons, creatures, etc., across multiple different patches, giving you all of the time to provide feedback on the adjustments being made to ensure we're moving in a positive direction." Now, along with the expansion, Season 17 has released called Pioneer Scouts. The sun is out and it's time to head on over to summer camp. There's so much to learn and do at the Pioneer Scouts sleepaway camp. Now, with the new update, there was a ton of fixes and improvements. For instance, in the art category, the Muni operator outfit now looks the same when previewed and when worn. Now, as for the updates to the camp, for the workshop, the Enlightened Mothman lantern should no longer display the premium icon and can be repaired individually when destroyed. And then Fluttering Moth no longer takes up camp light budget. The Sacred Mothman Tome camp item now has candle flames. And then the Nuka World radio will now correctly sync across clients. Now for the gameplay section, for the power armor, fixing a state players could get in where they could no longer craft the Union power armor when they should be able to. And then the Union power armor will no longer drop as loot from enemies, but can be rolled from the purveyor if the recipe or entitlement is known by the player. Now, these were just a few of the gameplay updates. There is a ton more for quality of life and just other updates and fixes. But for the weapons category, this is probably the biggest and most substantial updates. They increased the base damage of the Alien Blaster and Cryolator. They fixed an issue with how damage was calculated for the following weapons / mods: the Auto Axe, Chainsaw, and Minigun Shredder mod. They increased the base damage of the Auto Axe, and then they made adjustments to the electric / electrified burning and poison mods for the following weapons: the Auto Axe, the Mr. Handy Buzzblade, the Chinese Officer Sword, the Shepherd's Crook, the Sheepsquatch Staff, the Sheepsquatch Club, the Hatchet, the Assaultron Blade, Revolutionary Sword, the Baton, and the Vault 63 Shock Baton. And then the devs said these weapon mods now evenly split their damage between physical and energy, fire, and poison, and damage has been adjusted to account for damage being split between multiple damage types. They continued by saying the Cattle Prod has also received a similar change. Its damage has been adjusted and is evenly split between physical and energy damage. These adjustments generally represent an increase in damage dealt. It then said we have also improved how we calculate the fall off for weapon damage at range. We expect this to smooth out the fall off damage for weapons that historically lost most of their damage right away. All range weapons benefit from this, but it should be most visible with shotguns, pipe guns, as well as when fighting larger creatures such as death claws. They also did some updates to the localization. There were some quest updates, UI updates that are pretty awesome. Items now display how much they weigh when being placed in a character's stash. Score notification will no longer remain visible on ultra wide monitors. They fixed an issue which would cause "you have joined a team" to remain visible on some super wide monitors. And then they added height indicators for quest targets and NPCs to the power armor UI. And then for world updates, the raider NPCs from the coop will no longer spawn as legendary. And then for the following creatures have received balance changes: the angler, the cave cricket, floaters, gulper, mutant hound, and the protectron. And then finally, they made some miscellaneous changes. They fixed some dialogue inconsistencies. Broken Pro Snap Deluxe cameras will no longer appear in the vendor inventories. They fixed some directional prompts for tax evasion, and there were some other miscellaneous updates. Now overall, the patch was pretty solid. I was hoping for a bit more quality of life changes to make the overall experience a bit smoother, because typically with big updates, especially for Fallout 76, there are some bugs that are found, various performance issues, FPS issues, and so on and so forth. But most of that can just be kind of chalked up to Bethesda jank. So last week I was actually given a digital presentation from Bethesda regarding the Skyline Valley update, the ghoul class, as well as future updates coming to Fallout 76. But before we get into the future updates that we'll talk about in the next chapter of this video, we have to talk about the new ghoul class that's going to be coming to Fallout 76 in 2025. According to the Bethesda presentation, they said this, and I quote, "The Playable Ghoul will be a standalone release that will be available in early 2025. Players will be able to transform into a ghoul after reaching level 50, unlocking a quest to begin the change." Now, all of the details surrounding the quest will be shared in the future, but I have a feeling that the Skyline Valley expansion will have some teasers about what that quest might include. Now, if you decide to become a ghoul in Fallout 76, they will have some unique features. Ghouls will have a unique relationship to radiation to use to the player's advantage. Players can customize their experience using the new range of ghoul-specific perk cards, and by far my favorite is faction interactions will be affected by your new appearance. You're also going to be able to tailor and customize your ghoul's look, and for some of the concerns that I've already seen, you will be able to change back from being a ghoul, and Bethesda said that they will have more details shared closer to the release. Either way, I am really excited to play a ghoul in Fallout 76. I actually wanted that in previous games, but I wasn't really expecting it to happen in Fallout 76. But after watching the Fallout show, it totally makes sense that ghouls will be a playable class going forward. I really think the playable ghoul in Fallout 76 is kind of a test to see how it would work, as well as see the reactions of players, and then use that information for a possible ghoul race in Fallout 5. So next up, we also got some news during that presentation about future updates coming to Fallout 76. For instance, we have a new update called Milepost Zero, which will be coming later this fall. And some of the details about that is you escort Brahmin caravans around Skyline Drive for the Blue Ridge Caravan Company. You're able to unlock your own caravan outpost with decorations, traveling vendors, and your very own Brahmin. And finally, we have the Mischief Knight will be returning later this year, revamped at the Rapidan camp in the new Skyline Valley region. Overall, it seems like the future of Fallout 76 is looking bright. Again, I do think there needs to be some quality of life improvements in terms of the game's performance. Further optimization is definitely needed, but I'm sure that will all come in due time. I'm still playing through the expansion right now, so I'll talk more about my thoughts about the overall story and expansion content in the future, but my initial first impression is that the map expansion was a much needed addition to the game, and I look forward to seeing how they improve and update the game going forward. It certainly seems like Skyline Valley is yet another turning point for Fallout 76, and only time will tell if the expansion is as good and impactful as the Wastelanders expansion. It has some pretty big shoes to fill, but I do think that Skyline Valley is really solid. But that's going to wrap it up with today's video, guys. If you enjoyed my coverage of Fallout 76, do me a favor and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel with your notifications turned on, and also don't forget to enter the PS5 giveaway at 160k subscribers. To enter, it's super easy. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel, comment your Twitter handle, send me proof that you're subscribed. I've got the full details in the pinned comment, and until next time, this has been Wes, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.